Let me ask you something uncomfortable. If she doesn't want you, why hasn't she let you go? She replies. She checks in. She gets jealous when other women show interest. But when it comes to commitment, clarity, or choosing you, she suddenly doesn't know, isn't ready, or is confused. Most men get stuck here because they assume confusion means attraction that hasn't fully formed yet. That if they're patient, consistent, kind, and emotionally available, one day she'll wake up and realize, wow, he was the one all along. That almost never happens. What's really happening is much simpler and much more dangerous for you. She's not keeping you around because she doesn't know what she wants. She's keeping you around because you're serving a purpose. And before you get defensive, this isn't about her being evil or manipulative. It's about human behavior, emotional economics, and leverage. Women don't keep men around by accident. They keep men around because those men fill a role in their life, whether emotional, psychological, social, or ego-based. And the moment you stop fulfilling that role, she either disappears or suddenly wants you more. In this video, I'll break down the real reasons she keeps you around, the roles men unknowingly accept, and how to flip the dynamic without chasing, begging, or cutting her off dramatically. By the end of this, you'll know exactly where you stand and what to do next. Let's get into it. Part 1. You're her emotional safety net. The first reason she keeps you around is simple. You regulate her emotions. When she's stressed, overwhelmed, lonely, or unsure about her life, you're the one she talks to. You listen, you reassure, you validate her feelings. But notice something important. She comes to you for comfort, not for direction. That's the difference between a man a woman feels safe with and a man she feels drawn to. You've become her emotional home, not her desire. She vents to you after arguments with other people. She tells you about the guy who disappointed her. She opens up about her fears and insecurities. And you think, this is intimacy. This means I'm close. But emotional closeness without romantic tension doesn't move things forward. It locks you in place. You're valuable to her, but not in the way you want. Here's the harsh truth. If she can get emotional support from you without risking anything, there's no incentive for her to commit. You're free therapy, free comfort, zero pressure. And the more available you are emotionally, the less urgency she feels to choose you romantically. This is why pulling away emotionally, even slightly, often creates a reaction. It's not manipulation. It's the removal of a benefit she was unconsciously relying on. If she keeps you around mainly for emotional support, you're not her option. You're her insurance. Part 2. You boost her ego and validation. Another reason she keeps you around is validation. You compliment her. You show interest. You remind her she's wanted. Even if she doesn't want you, she wants the feeling you give her. Every text you send reinforces a silent message in her mind. I still have access to attention. This is especially common when she's unsure of herself or between phases in her life. Your interest stabilizes her self-worth. And here's where men mess up. They think consistency equals loyalty. But to her, your consistency without boundaries equals predictability. She knows you'll be there. She knows you won't disappear. She knows she can lean back while you lean in. And attraction doesn't grow in safety. It grows in tension and uncertainty. This doesn't mean being toxic or playing games. It means not giving away your attention for free. The moment your attention becomes scarce, selective, and self-directed, she has to reevaluate your value. Validation only works one way: when you give more than you receive. If she keeps you around for ego, it's because you're easy to access and hard to lose. That's not power. That's convenience. Part 3. You're the backup option. This one hurts, but it's common. She keeps you around because you're the safe fallback. You represent stability. You represent predictability. You represent someone who won't hurt her the way others might. But safety without excitement doesn't lead to desire. It leads to postponement. She doesn't reject you outright because she doesn't want to close the door. She keeps you close just in case. And as long as you stay available, she never has to decide. Here's the paradox. The more patient you are, the less urgent you feel. Women don't commit when they have unlimited time. They commit when a door might close. This is why men who suddenly stop overinvesting often see a shift in behavior. Not because she realized his value, but because the backup option became unavailable. If she's unsure about you but enjoys having you around, you're not being chosen, you're being stored. And stored men don't get passion. They get postponed. Part 4. You don't require anything from her. One of the most overlooked reasons she keeps you around is this. You don't require anything from her. You don't require clarity. You don't require consistency. You don't require effort. You accept maybe, we'll see, and I'm not sure as answers, and you stay. From her perspective, this feels comfortable. From your perspective, it feels confusing. But confusion is the price men pay when they stay in situations without standards. Here's the psychological truth most men miss. People value what they have to earn, not what's freely available. When you don't challenge her behavior, when you don't call out mixed signals, when you never express dissatisfaction, you communicate something silently, but clearly. My time is unlimited, and my standards are flexible. An attraction doesn't grow in flexibility. It grows in structure. This doesn't mean arguing, pressuring, or demanding commitment. It means having internal rules for what you accept and being willing to walk away when those rules are violated. Many men think requiring something will push her away, but what actually pushes women away is neediness disguised as patience. Patience says, I'm choosing this. Neediness says, I'm afraid to lose you. Women can feel the difference. When you require nothing, she doesn't feel selected. She feels accommodated. And accommodated men don't create urgency. They create convenience. Convenience is safe. Convenience is easy. Convenience is forgettable. This is why the moment a man finally pulls back, stops initiating, or calmly enforces a boundary, the energy shifts. Not because she suddenly changed her mind, but because the rules of the game changed. You stopped being available on default. You stopped rewarding uncertainty. And now, she has to decide. If she keeps you around, it's because you make it easy. The moment you make your presence conditional on respect, clarity, and effort, you stop being someone she keeps around and start being someone she risks losing. Part 5. How to flip the dynamic without chasing. Here's the part most men get wrong. Flipping the dynamic isn't about tactics, it's about identity. You don't win by pulling away dramatically, acting cold, or pretending you don't care. You win by becoming a man who doesn't overinvest in unclear situations. The shift starts internally. You stop asking, how do I make her choose me? And start asking, does this situation meet my standards? That single question changes everything. Practically, this means a few things. First, you reduce emotional availability, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You stop being her on-call support system. You stop being the place she dumps emotions without offering anything in return. Second, you slow down your investment. You match her effort instead of exceeding it. You respond, but you don't chase. You engage, but you don't pursue ambiguity. Third, you let silence do the work. Silence is powerful because it removes the benefits she was enjoying without commitment. No speeches, no ultimatums, just absence of overgiving. And here's the key. You don't announce this change. The strongest power move is quiet self-respect. If she reaches out, you're calm and grounded, not eager, not resentful. If she doesn't, you don't fill the gap. This creates a moment of truth. Either she steps forward, asking where she stands, increasing effort, seeking clarity, or she fades, and both outcomes are success. Because if she steps forward, you know she's choosing you. If she fades, you learn she was only benefiting from your presence, not valuing it. Men fear endings, but endings create leverage. Endings restore dignity. The goal isn't to make her anxious. The goal is to stop betraying yourself to stay connected. When you act like a man who is willing to walk away from what doesn't serve him, you become rare. And rare men are not kept around. They are chosen. This is Stickman Influence. See you in the next video.